I don't need much of that one.
Marguerite, she has a sense of humor. We have fun together.
We can talk and sad things or happy things. We can give support to each other.
I support her just in helping her do activities of daily living, things that she would have difficulty doing.
At first, when she came, I was pretty a little bit nervous because of communication. We do so without sign language interpreter. So, but somehow we managed to communicate.
Lots of color.
It's lots of beautiful colors.
Yeah. My profession was physical and occupational therapy, and after I retired, I was looking for something in the community where I could give back in the healthcare field.
Having cancer doesn't stop me from living. It doesn't stop me. I had to move on no matter what.
Hospice volunteering is very rewarding. You know, it's a privilege for people to let you into their lives and into their homes. They give us a very good training program so that it gives us some understanding as to what's expected of us and what we should do and what we shouldn't do. Even though I have a medical background, I still learned a lot from that training program. Mandarin lights?
Mandarin.
Lights.
Yeah, lights. Mandarin lights, wow. Yeah. Hospice means a lot to me because I knew that this was what I went through. Need some kind of support system. She's
very easy to get along with. She's appreciative of everything I do for her, or do with her rather than for her. She's just a really good friend or buddy, as we like to say. More than a family, we are friends.
The longest patient that I had while I'd been working with hospice is a young man that I started to see him, I think, in around August, and he died in February. So approximately 9 months, and over that 9 months, we formed a real close friendship bond. Whereas, like, he'd be talking to his dad, and he'd say, "Oh, you got to go, Jerry's coming over." It's an experience I'm glad I had. Wouldn't trade it for the world. Wouldn't trade anything in for the world. And I'd do the same thing over and over and over again. But it's really been a joy for me. It's been a pleasure.
Probably nap for about an hour and a half this afternoon. Now that I have cancer, I can see how important the visits by hospice volunteers are to people.
It's a tremendous help to the caregivers in that they get a break every now and again, because to me the caregiver that's spending 24 hours a day with the patient is the person that's paying for all this, you know, and it's tough. It's really tough. But the overall benefit is when you come home after you've let you know, the primary caregiver go for an afternoon home and see how good they feel too. So then you feel just a little bit better.
The cottage was always Dad's favorite place to be.
I know. Whether he was fishing or swimming or playing with you girls.
My husband John passed away on the very first family day in Ontario.
When I was 10, my dad was diagnosed with a brain tumor, and up until I was about 20 years old, I didn't really know that that meant cancer.
He loved that part too, eh?
I needed help. Hospice was there for us when we really, really needed them. I didn't have the option of not working because I had 2 girls that were going into university and needed to work. I realized that hospice was not there for just end of life.
Our hospice volunteers, they were more than friends. They really became family to us. And you know, I'd come home from school and they'd be sitting there with Dad, watching television, reading to him. They were always there when we needed them.
I could feel comfortable knowing that if they needed my assistance, they could come out and get me and we could do whatever needed to be done for him. But I could go out and just get groceries or cut the grass for a few minutes and know that he was going to be okay, and didn't have to worry about what I was going to walk back in on when I came home if I did leave him alone. So they just helped in every aspect.
In the hustle and bustle of the last, I'd say, 5 years of Dad's life, you know, hospice volunteers provided us with some sort of normalcy. We could come home from wherever we were and not feel like something was going to be wrong. We could come home without worrying.
And there was one hospice worker that John needed assistance when he was going to the washroom, and they would walk down the hall, and she would always say that she would dance with him because she had to place his arms on her shoulder to get down the hall, and they would have a little dance, and John liked to listen to the country music station a lot, so she would turn it up and they would dance their way down to the washroom.
Every volunteer that we had come into the house was a perfect fit for Dad. It was never, you know, a case where we'd come in and not be sure whether that person was right to be matched with Dad. Every volunteer was perfect for him.
John all of a sudden one day took a turn for the worst, I guess, and we knew that it wasn't going to be long before he was going to leave us. And I remember I called Hospice and said, okay, guess we're there, we're at end of life now. And within hours, there was a hospital bed here. There was oxygen tanks in a setting where John could be comfortable and we could still be with him. So we set the hospital bed up here in the living room. We had lots of chairs around for friends and family to be able to come and visit. And that's what it was like. It was like a revolving door of friends and family here.
During the last few days of Dad's life, our hospice volunteer, they kept coming, but it was different. They came and they sat with my sister and I in the kitchen, and they would ask us how we were doing and what we had been up to and if there was anything they could do for us. So they weren't just there for Dad, they were there for all of us. Remember we had the bed set up here?
Yeah, right here. And we had that sign, remember that sign? Wishing I was fishing. Right at the end of the bed.
Everyone always pointed it out.
Yeah.
Today I'm visiting Simon. Simon now has ALS.
When the hospice coordinator came to my home, suggested she knew a gentleman who might be suitable to come and see me.
Hello Simon, how are you?
The upshot of it was she gave me the name, and that was Dean Pond. Well, I reacted to that at once because we had worked together.
The constant care was taking its toll on his wife. She was getting very tired.
Who was looking after me all the time, and we have no children or no relatives nearer than 500 miles away.
Simon and I, we really have a lot in common, and I thought this would be a ideal situation for me to contribute to his well-being. And I think during our visits that has proven to be more and more true.
Oh, emphatically so.
There we go. And I just want to get your head over here someplace. I would suggest to Simon that we wanted to accomplish at least 3 things during my visit. And he would always have a list of 3 things to do. Very seldom that we get to number 2 and 3, but we have fun doing number 1.
It was an absolute godsend to be able to call upon hospice volunteers. That's fine.
That's fine. We're not out there alone. We're constantly supported by our local hospice, If there's resources that we don't have, questions that we can't answer, then we're always supported. Hospice volunteer program is a wonderful program.
Hospice is a registered, non-profit, charitable organization. There are no fees for our services. We rely on generous donations from our community to sustain our services.